Hi, my name is Angela. I'm a doctor of psychology and I've been on 100 dates. And this journey, it began after my divorce, which of course was one of my life's biggest crises. But once those intense post-divorce emotions started to fade, I grew curious about meeting new people again. And as a researcher, I've always been fascinated by human behavior, why we do the things we do, how we react, and how different behaviors impact our relationships. And naturally, this curiosity intertwined with my personal experiences as I went through the ups and downs of dating, all the emotions, all the rejections, and all the uncertainties. But why 100 dates? That's quite a few. Was that my plan from the start? Did I enjoy it? Or was it mostly a struggle? Something that I had decided to complete, but that wasn't really enjoyable. And what was my most important lesson? Did I learn something from my 100 dates? Because it sure was a massive experience. Well, first of all, I wanted to experience the full spectrum of the dating world. And as a psychologist and a researcher, I dove headfirst into modern dating, meeting people from all types, across various settings. And today I want to share a few key lessons and also a few fun stories from this adventure. So first of all, why 100 dates? Dating these days can often feel like a part-time job, with apps and swiping becoming an endless cycle. And you might think single life could be fantastic. No compromises, no risks, no conflicts with a spouse, no negotiating about where to go on a Saturday evening or where to go for a vacation. And yet, despite this, most of us are, or some of us are, constantly on the lookout for potential partners. And according to research, 67% of singles say their dating life aren't going well, and 75% find it difficult to meet new people. So I decided to go on my own 100 dates to gain a deeper insight into this modern dating scene and figure out what I truly want in a partner. So my first lesson, the first lesson I'm gonna share today is the importance of self-discovery. One of the biggest lessons I learned during my dating journey was how crucial it is to know what you truly want in a relationship. And meeting so many different people made me confront my own needs and desires. And I realized that I don't just want someone who looks good on the paper. I really, truly need a connection that feels right deep inside. And I remember one date that seemed perfect on paper. He was charming, he was successful, and he had a passion for travel. But when we met, I really felt nothing. And he spent the entire evening talking about his job, his hobbies, his future plans, and barely asked anything about me. And by the end of the date, I was just nodding along, counting the minutes until it ended. So that experience taught me that someone can tick all the boxes, but if the connection isn't there, it's simply not right. And my lesson number 2, that's maybe a cliche, but still, it's a lesson. So it's don't settle. Be honest with yourself. So dating so many different types of people taught me that it's important not to settle for less than what you truly want. And I've met people who were pleasant and nice, but there was always something that didn't quite click. And that's okay. And of course, there was the moment when I got catfished. I had matched with this handsome, seemingly down-to-earth guy, and when I showed up to meet him, I was greeted by someone entirely different, and he had used someone else's photos on his dating profile. And of course, my jaw almost hit the floor when I walked through the door. It was so strange. That was the moment when I realized that I knew it was time to politely excuse myself and leave. It's moment like these that taught me not to settle and to trust my instincts, my original instincts. And lesson number 3, enjoy being single. Well, we've all heard that, and still it might strike us as a bit contradictory, as a bit contradicting Like I was dating very intensely, 100 people, and at the same time, like I should, and I was enjoying being single. So this might surprise you, but one of the most important things I learned was how wonderful it can be to embrace single life. And often we look at dating as a way to fill a void. But what if we saw it differently? What if this is the last time we'll ever be single? Shouldn't we make the most out of it? So one of the funniest mishaps was when I accidentally double booked 2 dates at the same place. Well, it was no accident. I deliberately, of course, booked both dates to the same place, but I really thought that I would get some space. I would have plenty of time to wave off the first one before the other guy arrived. Well, I was sitting there on my first date, nervously glancing at the clock because I knew my second date would be arriving soon. And as I wrapped up the first date, I quickly ducked out to the restroom to regroup before walking right back into the same cafe for date number 2. And it was definitely one of those, oh, what have I gotten myself into moments. But hey, it makes for a great story now. And lesson number 4. The reality of dating apps. Dating apps have a tendency to distort our sense of reality and making us think that there are endless options out there. We swipe endlessly, believing there's always someone better around the corner. But this mindset can make us shallow, nitpicky, and hesitant to give people a real chance. So this is what science tells us. It really makes us more superficial, even objectifying the potential candidates on the dating app, seeing them less as humans and more as objects, sadly enough. And one of the most surprising and fun dates was when I found myself dancing to dance band. It's a Swedish phenomenon, dancing to dance band. So I found myself dancing to dance band music in my living room with the guy from Gotland. And now I'm not really into dance band, or I wasn't, I should say, and neither was he. But we just decided to have fun with it. So it reminded me that sometimes dating is all about letting go of expectations and enjoying the moment. I guess that's what I wanted to say with this little story. And lesson number 5. You know when it's right. So one thing I'm sure of is that when you meet the right person, you'll know. No book, no app, no checklist can replace that gut feeling. So while it's important to have an idea of what you're looking for, love is not something you can force or strategize into existence. And until then, enjoy the journey. Every date, every connection, every conversation, and every disappointment brings you one step closer to finding that true connection. And meanwhile, you'll be learning about yourself, about what you're looking for, what you need, and what makes you happy. So what I learned, the most important thing I learned from my dating adventure, it really was to know myself better when it comes to what traits, what kind of person, what values, all the things that matter the most to me and what makes me truly happy. And you might wonder, right now, you might sit there and wonder, well, did she meet anyone? Or was it just a lot of waste of time? Well, first of all, it wasn't waste of time. I learned so much, and I had several of the dates where they weren't really enjoyable or fun but still I learned a lot from them. I learned what I don't like and what I truly enjoy and prefer and would choose. And yes, I did meet someone. So after my 100 dates were done, I had actually deleted the dating apps. Then at some point I re-downloaded them and then deleted them again. And after a while, I wasn't really looking for anyone. I was pretty satisfied with my life, with being single. Life was good. I had my 2 kids, my work, and I was enjoying it all. Then one day, I was on a work trip flying from Stockholm to Copenhagen. And as I boarded the plane, I had this ridiculously heavy carry-on full of books, of course. And right in front of me, a guy was stepping onto the plane. And I figured, why not? He looked strong. So I asked if he could help me lift my heavy carry-on bag to this overhead luggage compartment. And he did. And now we're married. So that's my happy ending. So if you are out there dating, remember, it's more about learning who you are, what you want, and having fun along the way than about anything else. Well, of course we want to meet somebody, but that might take time. And it also requires being active, both on dating apps and in real life, talking to people, asking for help, or talking about just like about the weather, commenting things just to get the conversations going. And don't settle for less than you deserve. And most importantly, enjoy your single life for what it is, a time of discovery and growth. And if you found these insights and anecdotes, my stories, helpful, I want to hear more about relationships, self-growth, love, dating, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. And let's continue this journey together. Let me hear about your adventures, about your stories, about your struggles. So I wish you all the best. Thank you for watching.